I still remember the exact second my life cracked open because nothing dramatic happened at first. Emily sat across from me at the kitchen table, scrolling her phone, humming like everything was normal, and I said, "You're quiet tonight." She smiled without looking up and said, "I'm just tired." I said, "Work tired or me tired?" She laughed softly. "Don't start." "I'm not starting," I said. "I just miss you." She finally met my eyes and said, "I'm meeting someone tomorrow." My chest tightened. "Who?" "Someone from the past," she said casually. I tried to joke. "That sounds dangerous." She shrugged. "It's nothing." I said, "If it's nothing, why does it feel like something?" She rolled her eyes. "You're overthinking again." "I trust you," I said quickly. "I just want to understand." "There's nothing to understand," she said. "It's coffee." "With who?" I asked. "Daniel," she said like the name meant nothing. I nodded, pretending my hands were not shaking. "Your first love?" She smiled faintly. "You remember everything." I said, "I remember because I care." She stood up. "I'm going to bed." That night I told myself love meant staying calm, so I stayed silent. Then her phone buzzed while she showered, lighting up the counter. I didn't plan to look. I looked anyway. I said, "Emily." She walked in, towel around her hair. "What?" I held up the phone. "Why does he say he misses the way you used to laugh with him?" She didn't rush over. She didn't cry. She laughed. "You went through my phone?" she asked. "I saw my replacement," I said. She shook her head, still smiling. "That's dramatic." I said, "Tell me this isn't real." She crossed her arms. "Daniel came back. We talked. Things felt easy." "And me?" I asked. "What did I feel like?" She tilted her head. "Comfortable." The word hit harder than an insult. "Comfortable?" "You were safe," she said. "Predictable." I said, "I loved you." "I know," she said. "That's why this is awkward." "Awkward," I repeated. "I built my life around you." She sighed. "You built a routine." I said, "So I was practice?" She laughed again. "Don't be bitter." "Was any of it real?" I asked. She said, "It was real for what it was." "And what was it?" I asked. "A phase," she said. My voice dropped. "When were you going to tell me?" "I just did," she said. "You're strong. You'll be fine." I said, "You already chose him." She didn't deny it. "He makes me feel alive." I said, "And I didn't?" She looked away. "Not like he does." I stepped back, feeling smaller with every word. "So I'm done." She nodded. "I think so." I grabbed my jacket. "Say something human." She shrugged. "I don't want to lie." I walked to the door, hearing her voice follow me. "I hope you find someone better." I stopped, hand on the handle, and realized she never once asked if I was okay. Outside, the air felt sharp and the silence finally answered me. Something inside me broke cleanly and I knew I would never be the same again. I whispered to myself, "Don't call her." My phone vibrated and I said, "Of course." Her name flashed and I answered. "What?" She said, "I forgot my keys." I laughed empty. "Ask Daniel." She snapped, "Don't be cruel." I said, "You taught me." She paused. "You're acting different." "I'm learning," I said. She sighed. "We can still be friends." I said, "Friends don't replace each other." "You're making this harder," she said. I said, "You already made it impossible." She said, "I didn't mean to hurt you." I said, "Meaning doesn't change damage." She went quiet, then said, "I have to go." I said, "You left already?" The call ended and I stared at the screen. I said, "I chose you every day." No one answered. I said, "I would have fought." The street stayed silent. I said, "You never asked." My voice sounded steadier. I said, "This ends here." I slipped the phone into my pocket, breathed once, and felt the final thread tear. I stood there longer, counting breaths, feeling fear turn cold. I said, "I'm done being chosen last." The night didn't argue. I took one step forward, then another, knowing something inside me had snapped for good. I didn't look back because the person who loved her ended there, and the man walking away had finally learned to never beg again ever. The days after Emily left felt louder than the night she ended it. My head wouldn't stop talking, so I talked back to it. "I gave you everything," I said to the empty room. "Was that stupid?" No answer came, so memories did. "I skipped jobs for you," I muttered. "Remember that?" I remembered canceling trips, changing plans, saying yes when I meant no. "I built my future around your comfort," I said. Did you ever notice? My phone buzzed. Mark's name. Talk to me, he said when I answered. I don't know what to say, I said. Start anywhere. She replaced me, I said. Like I was furniture. Mark exhaled. Tell me what happened. She laughed, I said. Compared me. Said I was safe. That's not love, he said. It felt like it to me, I said. Because you were blind, he said gently. Don't say that. You ignored every red flag, he said. You shrank yourself. I loved her, I said. I know, he said. That's why this hurts. After the call, I opened social media knowing I shouldn't. Emily didn't hide it. She smiled beside Daniel, his arm around her waist. The caption read, "Right timing matters." I said, so I was wrong timing. Another photo. Another smile. I mattered once, I whispered. Sarah texted later. I'm sorry. I didn't know how bad it was. I replied, did you know about him? Pause. Then, I suspected. I typed, deleted, typed again. So everyone knew but me. I didn't want to interfere, she said. I needed honesty, I said. I hope you're okay, she replied. I stared at the words. Hope doesn't help, I said, then put the phone down. That night I argued with myself. You should confront him, I said. For what? I answered. To beg. You deserve answers. You'll look weak. I imagined Daniel's face. Come. Confident. She chose me, I imagined him saying. I said aloud, I won't give you that. Still the shame crept in. Why wasn't I enough? I asked the mirror. You were, I said back, then laughed bitterly. If that were true, she'd still be here. I replayed every moment, searching for the mistake. You should have been louder. You should have been colder. You should have been someone else. Mark called again. Don't do anything stupid. I'm not, I said. You sound like you are. I just feel erased, I said. Like I never existed. You existed, he said. She just didn't value it. That doesn't change the pain, I said. No, he agreed. But it changes the story. What story? I asked. That you were disposable, he said. You weren't. I closed my eyes. Then why does it feel like I was? Because love makes liars of us, he said. The next morning another post appeared. Emily and Daniel at a cafe I once took her to. I ordered that drink for you, I whispered. You hated it. I wanted to scream at her comments, tell the world what she did. She won't care, I said to myself. And I'll look desperate, I answered. The rage burned hot, then faded into something heavier. I miss who I was, I said quietly. That night, alone again, I sat on the edge of the bed. You can drown, I told myself. Or you can float. I don't know how, I admitted. That's fine, I said. Just don't give up. I took a breath that shook. I will survive, I said. Even if I don't know how yet. The words didn't feel strong, but they stayed. For the first time since she left, that felt like enough. The envelope arrived on a Tuesday, thick and cream-colored, my name printed in careful letters. I stared at it and said, no. My hands shook as I opened it. You're joking, I whispered. Emily and Daniel. Together. Forever. The words smiled at me from the page. I laughed once, sharp. You couldn't just leave quietly. I imagined her sealing it, smiling, saying, this is mature. I read the date again. That fast. My phone rang. Mark. Don't open it, he said. Too late, I said. She's getting married. Silence, then, you're not going. I didn't say that. You're not, he repeated. It's an invitation, I said. Not a summons. Say no, he said. Delete it from your life. I wish it worked like that. At work, 2 coworkers whispered nearby. 6 months, one said. That's crazy. They moved fast, the other replied. Makes you wonder. I walked past them, heart pounding. Wonder what? I muttered. The pain came in waves. I wasn't even cold yet. That night I held the invitation again. You won, I told the paper. Why rub it in? Mark called back. Promise me you won't go. I promise nothing, I said. Going will destroy you. Not going already is, I said. The next day, Olivia sat across from me in a meeting, eyes calm, voice steady. You look distracted, she said later. I'm fine, I said. She tilted her head. People say that when they're not. I hesitated. I got bad news. She nodded. You don't have to explain. Someone I loved is getting married, I said. That hurts, she said simply. I waited for advice. None came. You still have dignity, she added. Don't forget that. I went home, invitation on the table. I won't go, I said. Then I picked it up again. I might, I admitted. I stared at it, heart racing. I won't be invisible anymore, I said. The decision scared me. That's why I knew it mattered. I didn't notice when Olivia became part of my days. She was just there, quiet, steady, never forcing space. One afternoon she said, "You don't talk much about yourself." "I don't have much worth saying," I replied. She looked at me and said, "That sounds rehearsed." I laughed softly. "Maybe." She didn't argue. She just listened. Over time she asked small questions. "Do you sleep? Do you eat? Do you blame yourself?" I answered honestly. "Not well. Barely. Every day." She nodded. "That explains your eyes." I said, "They look tired?" "They look punished," she said. I expected pity. I got none. "I don't deserve sympathy," I said. She shrugged. "I'm not offering sympathy." "What are you offering?" I asked. "Attention," she said. "There's a difference." I never told her the whole story. I said, "Someone left." I said, "It ended badly." She filled in the gaps without pressing. "You were compared," she said once. I froze. "How did you know?" "You flinch when people praise others," she replied. I said, "I wasn't enough." She shook her head. "That's a conclusion, not a fact." Meanwhile, news drifted in. Mark called me one night. "Have you heard about Daniel?" "I don't want to," I said. "You should," he replied. "He's got anger issues." Blew up at a waiter. I stayed quiet. "His family's pushing him," Mark continued. "Money problems too." I said, "She'll defend him." "She already is," Mark said. Sure enough, Emily posted again. Smiling captions. Sharp replies to comments. "You don't know him. We're happy. Stop projecting." I said to my screen, "You're convincing yourself." Olivia noticed my silence the next day. "You're somewhere else," she said. "I'm hearing echoes," I replied. "From the past?" she asked. "From a life where I hated myself," I said. She leaned back. "Do you still?" "Yes," I answered quickly. She waited, then said, "Why?" "I failed," I said. "I was replaced." She shook her head. "You were released." "That's nicer," I said. "Not truer." "Maybe not yet," she replied. She never touched me. Never crossed a line. "You don't owe me explanations," she said one evening. "But you owe yourself fairness." I laughed bitterly. "I've never been fair to myself." "I can tell," she said. "You apologize for existing." I said, "I learned that somewhere." She replied, "You can unlearn it." More rumors surfaced. Arguments. Stress. Emily defending harder, louder. "She sounds angry," I said to Mark. "She sounds scared," he corrected. I watched from a distance, detached. "She chose that," I whispered. One afternoon, Olivia and I walked after work. "You don't look like a man who lost," she said suddenly. I stopped. "What?" "You look like one who survived," she repeated. The words hit differently. "I don't feel like that," I said. "Survival doesn't feel heroic," she said. "It feels quiet." I swallowed. "I stopped hating myself today." She smiled gently. "That's how it starts." I went home lighter. For the first time, I didn't replay her laughter. I replayed my own breath. And it didn't hurt. The morning was quiet, almost too quiet. I woke to the sound of my own heartbeat, loud enough to drown the alarm clock. I said to myself, "This is it. Today." My suit hung on the door, crisp and black like armor. I shook my hands out, feeling them tremble anyway. "Are you ready?" Olivia's voice pulled me from the mirror. "I think so," I said, adjusting my tie. She smiled softly. "You look steady." "I don't feel steady," I admitted. "That's okay," she said. "You'll survive anyway." I laughed lightly. "I've done enough surviving." Her hand brushed mine as we left. I hadn't realized I needed the touch until it was there. "I'm not here pretending," she said. "I'm here for you." I nodded. "I know." The venue was grander than I remembered. Flowers, ribbons, a perfect white aisle. My chest tightened. "It's ridiculous," I muttered. "What is?" Olivia asked. "All of it. Every detail. Every smile waiting for her to walk down that aisle." "You don't have to think about them," she said. "Just breathe." I did. But the moment we stepped in, the room froze. Not literally, but the energy shifted. Conversations halted mid-word. Guests turned. Eyes followed. I felt every whisper slice through the air. And then I saw her. Emily. Her mouth opened slightly, then closed. Shock, confusion, maybe regret. It passed too quickly, but I saw it. Daniel beside her stiffened. Their hands clutched each other like armor. Is that him? Someone whispered. I held Olivia's hand tighter. Yeah, I said softly. It's me. Whispers rippled like water. A low murmur grew into questions. Eyes darted from me to Emily, then back again. I didn't smile. I didn't wave. I didn't need to. My presence said enough. I can't believe he's here, a guest murmured near the back. Why would he come? Another replied. I moved slowly down the aisle, each step deliberate. Olivia stayed beside me, calm, observant. You don't have to go too far, she said. I have to be here, I said. Just like this. Emily's eyes met mine. I saw it again, shock, then a flicker of something like fear. Daniel's jaw tightened. He leaned closer to her. Do you know him? He whispered. She began, then stopped. I passed them, and she opened her mouth again. Can we? No, I said firmly, my voice low but steady. Not today. Her lips pressed into a line. You don't even want to talk? I don't need to, I said. You'll see why soon enough. I walked to the end of the aisle and turned slightly to face the gathering. Guests shuffled, trying to look casual, but the tension was thick. Murmurs floated around me, some curious, some defensive. A child pointed. Mom, who's that? Just someone from her past, the mother said, voice tight. I let the silence speak for me. It stretched, heavy, deliberate. I felt no shame, no anger, only clarity. Olivia leaned slightly toward me. You're doing it, she said. You're standing tall without saying a word. I exhaled slowly. I didn't know I could. Emily tried once more. She stepped forward, voice urgent. Please just talk to me. Outside for a moment? I shook my head. No, not here. Not ever again. Her eyes narrowed. You're cruel. Or I'm free, I said softly. She recoiled like the words had weight she wasn't expecting. Daniel glanced at her, confused, searching for direction. The room buzzed. Everyone sensed the shift. I didn't move closer or back away. I simply existed there, steady. You don't even look broken, Olivia whispered. I'm not, I said. Not today. Emily's lips trembled, and for a second I thought she might cry. But she didn't. She realized something had changed. She couldn't manipulate, guilt, or intimidate me anymore. The power was mine, quietly, invisibly, in the way I held myself. I turned to Olivia slightly. Thank you, I said. For what? She asked. For reminding me I can survive without hating myself. Her eyes softened. You don't look like a man who lost, she said. You look like one who survived. And for the first time I believed it. I didn't need to speak again. My presence alone had done what words could not. Emily looked, understood, and for a brief moment regretted. I walked back down the aisle beside Olivia, head high, chest steady. I had walked into fire and came out unscathed. No one could take that from me. I stayed, though every instinct screamed at me to leave. The ceremony began, the officiant's voice calm, measured, but tension filled every corner. Chairs creaked, whispers bounced off the walls. I sat beside Olivia, feeling her steady presence as a buffer. Do you have to stay? She asked softly. I want to see it, I said. Not to hurt myself, just to understand. Be careful, she said. You don't need to get close to fire again. I'm careful, I said. But careful felt brittle. The vow started. Emily's voice trembled slightly. Daniel's jaw tightened. I watched him stiffen, trying to project control, but it faltered. I do, he said too loud. I do, she echoed, but her eyes darted, not meeting his. I leaned toward Olivia. Does she look happy to you? She shook her head. No. They're pretending, I muttered. Just like I used to. Afterward, a guest whispered. He's controlling, isn't he? I've seen it, the other replied. Temper issues. Family pressure. I didn't need to ask who. The news had been subtle, repeated in snippets. Daniel wasn't the calm prince Emily made him out to be. I noticed it all in the small gestures, the way he snapped at a waiter, the force in his hand on her arm. I overheard a door click, muffled voices. I told you not to interfere. Daniel's voice sharp. I can't just ignore it. Emily snapped back, though quieter. Stop comparing me to him, he yelled. I froze. That was my name, my presence, they were still talking about me. You're impossible, Emily said. I leaned back. No surprise. No anger. Just distance. Sarah's text came through later. I need to tell you something, it read. I typed back, go ahead. She never stopped comparing him to you, Sarah admitted. Even Daniel doesn't know and she tries to hide it, but I saw it. She's always measuring. I stared at the screen. And I cared so much. I know, she said. I wish you could see it before this. I put the phone down. Distance wasn't pain anymore. It was clarity. Daniel continued to unravel. During the dinner, a loud argument broke out in the hallway. I said you promised, he snapped. Emily's voice tighter, almost desperate. I'm trying, but it's never enough. I swallowed. My chest stayed still. Revenge didn't need shouting. Revenge didn't need a scene. It could live in patience in knowing I had already walked away stronger. Olivia placed her hand over mine. You're calm, she said. Even here. I've learned, I replied. Some things aren't worth screaming at. Exactly, she said. Some things break themselves. I watched Emily laugh at something Daniel said, forced and tight. He gestured, demanded, and her smile faltered. The contrast was sharp, perfectly curated photos for the outside, cracks leaking everywhere behind the doors. Mrs. Carter moved past, avoiding my gaze. I noticed. Avoidance was telling. She knew the cracks, or maybe she was protecting the illusion. Either way, it didn't matter to me. Everything looks perfect, Olivia said quietly. Looks, I corrected. Not reality. I moved a little, scanning the room, the guests trying to act normal. The tension was thin, palpable. Whispers floated around me. Did you hear them? It's a mess. Emily caught my eyes briefly across the hall. A flicker of regret or maybe fear. Daniel noticed too late, trying to shield her with his presence. But the gap had formed. The balance shifted. I think something's already broken, I said softly. Olivia squeezed my hand. Yes. And you survived watching it happen. I don't feel cruel, I admitted. Not even a little. That's the point, she said. You don't have to be cruel to win. I let my gaze linger on the couple. The pictures, the flowers, the vows, they mattered less than the truth behind closed doors. They can pretend, I said. They can smile and laugh and post online. But it's hollow. You're right, Olivia said. And you're not there anymore. I exhaled. The quiet, steady feeling spread through me. I didn't need to speak. I didn't need confrontation. Just watching, knowing, and staying whole was enough. The wedding continued. Music played, glasses clinked, people smiled, but I saw what no one else could. The cracks, the strain, the pretense. Something was already beyond repair. Do you want to leave? Olivia asked later. I'll stay a little longer, I said. Not for them. For me. Her eyes met mine. Good choice. I watched Emily again, smiling at Daniel, but not truly there. I felt nothing but calm. Distance, yes, but peace too. And for the first time in months, I understood. Surviving didn't mean being absent from life. It meant seeing clearly, standing quietly, and letting the fire burn itself out. I turned back to Olivia, squeezing her hand. Thank you, I said. For what? For reminding me I don't need to break to be strong. She smiled. You never did. The wedding carried on, perfect in image, fractured in reality. I sat, steady, alive, and unshaken. The morning after the wedding, the world felt lighter. I didn't know why at first. No one called me, no one needed me, and the air wasn't thick with tension. I smiled at Olivia as we walked into the office. You look rested, she said. I think I am, I admitted. Finally. She raised an eyebrow. Finally? That sounds like someone survived a war. I guess I did, I said. The news came quickly. Daniel, already struggling with his temper, made headlines. Someone leaked a video of him yelling at a waiter. Another article claimed unpaid debts. Figures, I muttered, scrolling. The perfect groom. You're not celebrating, Olivia said. I'm observing, I replied. And realizing I don't care anymore. Emily tried calling later. I let it ring. Twice. The third time a text. Please, we need to talk. I made a mistake. I stared at it. My thumb hovered over the screen. I didn't type. I didn't delete. I just looked. That must feel tempting, Olivia said. I won't, I said. Temptation doesn't get to me anymore. Her hand brushed mine. Good. That's the point. I didn't reply to Emily. Not because I hated her. Not because I wanted revenge. Because I had moved on, finally, without force, without shouting. My silence was enough. At work, Olivia and I fell into an easy rhythm. Conversations flowed naturally. She noticed when I didn't speak, asked questions gently. "You're quieter than usual," she said one morning. "I'm listening," I said. "And thinking." "About her?" "Not exactly," I said. "About me." She smiled faintly. "Progress then." "Maybe," I said. "It feels freeing." Weeks passed. Daniel's mistakes became public: anger, lies, financial problems. I watched from a distance, curious but detached. Emily defended him at first, posting long captions, arguing in comments. "She's trying to convince herself," I said to Olivia one evening. She nodded. "That's not your problem anymore." "I know," I said. "And it feels good." Emily's messages continued, increasingly desperate. "I was wrong. Can we talk? I made a huge mistake. I need closure." I read each one, then set my phone down. Silence was my answer. "Not even a reply?" Olivia asked. "Not even one," I said. "Closure isn't something I give. I create it for myself." She nodded, squeezing my hand. "And you're doing it beautifully." The freedom was intoxicating. I didn't need to argue. I didn't need to justify. I didn't even need to feel anger. My life had grown around calm routines, work, and the simple conversations that mattered. One evening we shared coffee on the balcony after work. "You're different," she said. "I am," I said. "I don't look for drama. I don't chase what's lost. I just exist." "That's rare," she said. "And good." I smiled, feeling it in my chest. "I think I finally understand what surviving really means." And? "And I don't need to intervene," I said. "Karma doesn't need my help." She laughed softly. "Exactly." Emily's final message arrived later that night. "I was wrong. I see it now. I hope you're happy." I stared at it for a long time. No fire. No pain. Just stillness. I set the phone down. "I am happy," I whispered. Without needing her to admit it. Without needing her at all. Olivia looked at me, calm and steady. "See? You're free." "I am," I said, feeling it. The past weighed nothing. The betrayal, the humiliation, the comparisons, they had no grip anymore. I realized I had been taking revenge all along without planning it. My silence, my patience, my growth, it was enough to outlast the chaos she and Daniel had created. "Do you ever think about them?" Olivia asked. "Sometimes," I admitted. "But it's like watching a play from the balcony. I see the actors, I see the drama, but it's not mine." She smiled. "I like that version of you." "So do I said. For the first time I didn't feel anger and I didn't feel loss. Just a quiet satisfaction. My life was mine, no one could take it and no one could diminish it. I didn't need confrontation. I didn't need acknowledgement. I didn't even need Emily's apologies. She had chosen. He had chosen. I had chosen me. And that was enough. I picked up my coffee, sipped slowly and said softly, "Karma doesn't need my help." I survived anyway. Olivia's hand found mine again, warm and grounding. "And you'll keep surviving," she said. "Yes," I said. No shouting needed. Just silence, patience, and life moving forward. And for the first time in months I felt completely free. The knock on my door startled me. I wasn't expecting anyone. "Who is it?" I called. "It's me," Emily's voice cracked. "Please. Can I come in?" I hesitated, then opened it. Her eyes were red, mascara streaked down her cheeks, hands trembling. She looked small, lost. I need to talk to you," she said, voice barely audible. "Go ahead," I said, stepping aside. She entered, taking a shaky breath. "I made a mistake," she admitted. "I chose wrong. I shouldn't have left you. I laughed at you. I was cruel." I didn't respond immediately. I let her words hang in the air, heavy, sharp, and final. "You don't understand," she whispered. "I was afraid and I thought." "You thought?" I asked softly. "You thought I'd always be here? That I'd forgive anything?" Her lips trembled. I never meant to hurt you this much." "I heard enough," I said. My voice was calm, steady. "You lost me the moment you laughed at my pain. The moment you compared me to him like I was nothing." Tears fell faster now. "I see that. I understand that. And You don't get to understand that and keep me," I interrupted gently. "You already made your choice. That choice isn't about Daniel. It's about the moment you stopped seeing me." Her hands fisted. I was confused. I didn't Confused doesn't excuse cruelty, I said. It doesn't bring back the years I gave you. It doesn't fix the humiliation I endured when I thought I mattered to you more than anyone else. She cried openly now. I thought, you thought wrong, I said. And now you're trapped. Daniel's unraveling. His anger, his lies, his debts, they're yours too. But I don't need to be part of it. Emily flinched. I just wanted to say. You wanted an apology, I said. You got it. But I don't need closure from you. You have it for yourself. That's your lesson. Not mine. Her head lowered. I'm sorry, she whispered. Truly. I know, I said. And I accept it. For what it's worth, I mean it. I don't carry anger toward you anymore. But I carry memory. And memory is enough to protect me from ever going back. She blinked through tears. So, you're not angry? I'm not, I said. I'm calm. Because the power you thought you had over me ended long before you realized it. She swallowed, voice small. I didn't realize, until now. Exactly, I said. Timing matters. And yours came too late. She flinched at the words, but I didn't soften. I didn't raise my voice. My tone was simple, final. Truth, not cruelty. Truth, not begging. I hope you can forgive yourself, I added. Because I've forgiven you. Just, not for me, for you. You need to face what you chose. She nodded. I understand. I stepped back, making space. That's all. I don't need to argue, and I don't need to hear excuses. You'll deal with him. I'll deal with me. Her shoulders slumped. I really am sorry. You've said that, I replied. And I've listened. That's enough. I turned toward the door. Goodbye, Emily. She looked up, hopeful, pleading. Will you ever? No, I said softly. And that's the point. I won't. Not ever. You lost me before you realized what losing me meant. The room was silent for a long moment. She let out a shaky breath, then nodded, finally understanding. I opened the door and stepped out. Olivia was waiting, calm as always, her hand resting gently on mine. Are you okay? She asked. I am, I said. I'm peaceful. That's new, she said, smiling. Because I chose it, I said. I could have left angry, bitter, screaming. But I didn't. That's the victory. She squeezed my hand. I like this version of you. It's real, I said. Not forced. Not performing. Just life moving forward. We walked down the hall together. I didn't look back. Emily stayed inside, small, broken, facing the consequences of her choices. Daniel's messes would hit her soon enough. I didn't need to watch. I didn't need to intervene. I feel free, I said quietly. You earned it, Olivia said. Silence was your revenge, and it's enough. I nodded. It's enough. I don't need drama. I don't need apologies. I survived without being cruel. That's the point. We stepped outside. The air felt crisp, sharp, like a new chapter had begun. I inhaled deeply. Are we done? Olivia asked. Yes, I said. Done with her. Done with that life. Done needing validation from anyone who couldn't see my worth. She smiled and I felt it in my chest, light, steady, untouchable. I choose peace, I said softly. Over pride. Over hate. Over everything that used to hurt me. And in that moment I realized I had won. Not because I fought, not because I yelled, not because I chased revenge, but because I finally walked away calm, unshaken, and whole. I didn't look back. Not even once. I step outside into the morning air, crisp and honest, and take a slow breath. Feels like a new day, I say. Olivia glances at me, calm, steady. It is. And it's yours. I never thought I'd feel this free, I admit. After everything. You earned it, she says. Not from anyone else but from yourself. I nod, thinking about Emily, Daniel, and the past that tried to drag me under. I used to think I needed closure, I say. I needed her to see my pain, to admit she was wrong. But I realize now. I didn't. I only needed to survive it. And you did, Olivia says softly. Completely. I laugh lightly. I didn't just survive. I rebuilt. She tilts her head. That's what it looks like from the outside. But inside. I glance at her, feeling honest enough to speak it aloud. Inside I'm calm. I'm steady. I'm not constantly chasing someone else's approval. I don't shrink myself for love or validation. I exist fully, quietly, and that feels powerful. You've changed, she says. I see it every day. And it's not just me noticing, it's you too. I stop walking for a moment, taking in the sky above. I wasn't always like this, I say. There was a time I begged, pleaded, adjusted myself to fit someone else's idea of love. I compromised until I disappeared. I thought that was necessary. I thought that was love. And it wasn't, Olivia says gently. No, I admit. It wasn't. Betrayal didn't destroy me. It rebuilt me. Every laugh at my pain, every comparison, every moment I felt invisible, they all pushed me to find myself. To be more than I ever thought I could. She smiles. And you are. I look at her and at the world around me. The streets, the people, the quiet rhythm of life. It all feels different now. I don't need her apology. I don't need her acknowledgement. I don't need revenge. None of it matters. What matters is me and who I choose to be. You choose well, Olivia says. And you always have the right to choose yourself first. I'm starting to see that, I say. For the first time, I feel like I don't have to prove anything. Not to Emily, not to Daniel, not to anyone. My worth isn't tied to their recognition. It never was. I just didn't know it until now. You learned it the hard way, she says. But you did learn it. Yes, I admit. And I don't regret it. Every betrayal, every humiliation, every sleepless night, it all led me here. To calm, to clarity, to dignity. I didn't win by revenge. I won by becoming someone who no longer begged to be chosen. Olivia takes my hand, intertwining our fingers. And that's stronger than anything else. I squeeze hers back. It's quiet justice, I say. Not loud, not vengeful. Just life going on and me standing taller than ever. I walk with my head high and no one can take that from me. She laughs softly. I like hearing you say that. I needed to say it to myself, I admit. Not for anyone else. Not to prove a point. Just to remember who I am. And who I refuse to be again. You refuse well, Olivia says. And you embrace the right things. I pause, letting the warmth of her hand anchor me. I used to fear being alone, I confess. I thought love meant surrendering yourself completely. But I was wrong. Real strength, real love, is walking forward with someone who sees you, respects you, and never demands you disappear. That's what I have now. And it's enough, she says. Yes, I say softly. It's more than enough. I look back and I don't feel pain anymore. I don't feel anger. I feel gratitude. For the lessons, for the growth, for the life I get to live. You've become someone remarkable, she says. I smile. Not remarkable because of anyone else. Remarkable because I finally stopped allowing others to define me. I became me. Whole, steady, unbroken. And that's worth everything. We walk forward, side by side, each step measured, honest, intentional. The world moves around us, but I move within it on my own terms. Are you proud of yourself? Olivia asks. Yes, I say. I finally am. Not because I'm vindicated. Not because they failed. But because I succeeded. In choosing myself. In surviving. In becoming the man I was always meant to be. She squeezes my hand again. Then let's keep moving. I will, I say. Step by step. Quietly, firmly, without looking back. Because the only person I answer to now is me. And as we walk together, I realize for the first time in years, I am free, I am whole, and I am finally, completely the man I became.